6:45, you're watching the Tennessee Valley this morning. Thanks for joining us today. Dan Howell with Zandra Whaley, my co-host, and we have a special guest who hasn't been with us in a while. Barry Melton is here, and a longtime friend who's been kind of a colleague in the media. I don't think we've ever worked together, but we work kind of across the street from each other, something like that, you know. Yeah. But we're always glad to interact with each other as we do from time to time. But Barry's here to talk about the Cleveland Media Association. Now, there may be some folks out there that says, I didn't know we had a Cleveland Media Association, but we do. We do. It's been around for a long time, hasn't it?
It's been around since about 1998. Yeah. It is a group of media professionals from the Cleveland-Bradley County area that covers all facets, public relations, radio, television, newspaper, web design, web programming, computer programming.
Marketing. PR.
You absolutely have a lot of PR members. Yeah. We once a year sponsor a 3/4 day seminar, and that's what we're here today specifically to talk about.
Okay. And that's coming up soon.
This coming Friday. It's going to be at Life Care Centers of America, Professional Development Center. We're going to be talking about staging an event, and the name of our conference is Making a Big Deal Out of a Big Deal. And we're bringing in folks from TVA. Our keynote speaker is Barbara Martucci. She is the Director of Public Relations for Tennessee Valley Authority. She was the one personally responsible for handling all of the media outlets and the media attention, if you will, given to the Kingston coal ash spill.
She's had a little experience then.
Just a bit, just a bit. So she's going to be our main keynoter in the morning. We also have the folks from Athens that are going to be with us that sponsor MooFest, that talk about how they put together the MooFest event that's held up there on a yearly basis. We invite everyone to come. We have a website. CMATENN.org/conference.
CMATENN. Okay. The old-fashioned
way, the post office way.
Yeah, that used to be a 4-letter abbreviation. They got them down to 2. And that is TENN.org/conference. Okay.
We'll take you right to the site. We have a PayPal account set up there where folks can pay online. $90 for all day, which includes breakfast and lunch. We'll start at about 8 a.m., getting everyone there. We'll start the program at 8:30. 8 a.m. is registration. And we'll run until 3:45 that afternoon.
Yeah, it occurs to me that there are people out there watching who may be involved with a large industry or even a small business in town, but they're not members of the Cleveland Media Association. But how would someone like that benefit, Barry?
We want this to be for anyone that has to plan an event, large or small. One of the things we've talked about in our officers' meetings is when you have small companies and you want to get the word out about a new product or a new service or something, you usually don't have a large public events department or a public affairs or a marketing department. And at some point, you're going to have to plan an event. And you go, wait a minute, I've never done this before. How does this work? Well, we hope to give information out to company representatives, large and small, on what they need to do, the steps they need to take to properly present an event, even during times of crisis. One of the things we're going to be talking about was the Relay for Life last year. How did they pull that off post-tornadoes? Yeah. And how did that work for them? And folks are going to be here that put the Relay for Life together. We're going to be at the conference to talk about events in the time of a crisis, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of smaller businesses, maybe office with 5 people in it, and they have an event, and that happens all the time. Chamber members, offices, businesses. That's what I'm trying to think of. See, I haven't had my coffee yet, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on Ruthie. But there are times when they will have to have an event, a special sales event or something like that, Usually when we think about getting the word out, the first thing people think of, well, we got to get it on the radio, or we got to get an ad in the newspaper. And those are good. But boy, times have changed. So are you going to address all the other ways to get the
word? We actually have one session that's going to be called Tweeting Your Event.
Now see, I still don't know how to tweet. I have not a clue.
Ryan Fariselli, who I believe you're familiar with.
I know Ryan.
Ryan is going to be leading that session, and Chris McGrath is going to be leading a session on publicizing your event through web pages.
Okay.
How to put web pages together.
Put a web page together, and then I guess there are certain ways you go about actually getting your web page recognized or having it pop up when you do a search.
Absolutely.
I don't know anything
about it. It's called
search
engine optimization.
Oh, see?
Search engine optimization.
That sounds technical to me.
Anything beyond that, don't ask me. I just know I know what it's called. I don't know how it works. But,
so you optimize your search engine.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Wow. How to get up there high on the Google list is the idea.
Yeah. Well, I noticed when sometimes I'll do if I'm at the office doing some research or something, and you put in a keyword and you search in Google or Bing. Sometimes I use Bing. They're usually the 2 or 3 that always come up first.
Right.
So there's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that. Yes.
There's a way to
And I've had it explained to me, and I still don't understand it, but there is a method to that madness, yes.
Do you have to deal with this at the office, Sandra?
Oh, yes, and that's a big deal, you know, when you're Googling plastic surgeons. I mean, they can come up from wherever.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we're actually working on that, too. I went to a seminar, and that's a big deal because that's what people go to anymore. They don't use the yellow pages. They go straight to the computer and Google.
That's right.
Yeah.
I do it, too. I Google everything.
Yeah. It's amazing. You mentioned the yellow pages. In fact, the book came a month ago, and I just happened to see this morning when I came down the driveway. It's still laying on the side of the driveway. I've never picked it up. I don't use yellow pages anymore. Our technology and way of communicating has changed as far as our advertising is concerned.
Absolutely.
But we used to be, we'd always say, well, let me check the yellow pages. Now I check my smartphone.
Right.
Or, you know, I look at the white pages on the smartphone or go to the laptop or whatever. It's just amazing. So you're going to cover all of these things.
We're going to try to cover the landscape, yes, sir, as much as possible.
Now, who are the speakers going to be?
Oh, well, let's see. As we know it now, we still have 1 or 2 that we're firming up, but Barbara Martucci from TVA. We're also going to have Kelly Wilcoxon from Life Care, who heads up the Operation Christmas Child campaign. She's going to be talking about the power of a shoebox. And even though a lot of folks around here think about OCC, Operation Christmas Child, as really being a one-day event, the Monday before Thanksgiving, as the big collection day, it's really a year-round effort. Kelly's going to talk about how Life Care puts together this year-round effort and what all goes into the culmination of the campaign, which is on that collection day.
Now, I'm sorry not to sidetrack, but is that already underway?
It is, yes, it is.
I thought it was. Somebody over there is doing a good job of getting the word out.
Right.
Because it's already peaked on my radar.
Absolutely. Yeah, they had their kickoff dinner back in August. And got it going, and it seems like it gets earlier every year, but the idea is to get the word out.
And it continues to grow.
And it continues to grow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, like Ryan Fariselli is going to be talking about tweeting your event. Angela Mathis is going to be talking about maintaining your event through a crisis. Blake McCaslin is the MooFest representative. He's the PR manager of Mayfield Dairy Farms. Reinventing, rebuilding, rebranding, and reviving an event. MooFest has evidently gone through some transitions in the last few years. They're going to be talking about that. One I failed to mention, Kevin Lusk out of Chattanooga is going to be talking about the big campaign that he does down there on a yearly basis called Turning Denim into Diamonds. And honestly, I'm not 100%, I hate to say it, but I'm not 100% familiar with that event, so we're all going to learn something from Kevin. But Kevin is a highly regarded PR professional in the Chattanooga market, and he'll be here talking about that. And then, of course, Chris McGrath will be doing our session on your event on the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
And then to close the day, to close the event, we're going to be having a panel discussion with 4 media professionals, including Dr. Patty Silverman from Lee University, Sarah Jennings from News Channel 9, Steve Hartline.
Oh, yeah. CLE.
CLE.
Well, you were doing good till you got to Steve.
Well, you know, I had to.
Surely it isn't a panel of experts, is it?
Depends on your definition of expert.
We have fun.
Exactly.
But we're going to be talking about how to use the media to publicize your event. What do they need? Also going to have Rick Norton from the Cleveland Daily Banner on that panel. So that's how we're going to close the day, is listening to some of the folks that actually represent media outlets.
It's going to be a good day. Well, if you are a small business or a large manufacturing company and you're wanting information on how to get the word out and how to use the media, and we're talking not just about radio and newspaper and TV, but all the media, and it's a broad spectrum now.
Yes, very much so.
Then this would be an event that you would probably benefit from. There is a $90 registration fee.
$90 for business, for regular business people, I should say. $20 for students. We're trying to get students involved in this. We know that there is an events planning class this semester at Lee University, and we have some of their students already registered for it coming over. So $20 for students, $90 for business folks. Those prices are good through this Wednesday. Okay. After that, it's going to go up $10 in both of those categories. But like I said, it does include a light breakfast and lunch. And they can go to cmatenn.org/conference.
All right. cmatenn.org/conference. There you go. Check it out. And it's just in case, is there a phone number they can call, or should they go to the website?
No, they can call me, 473-5308, or they can call our vice president at 473-6117, and that's Carrie Shanks.
Okay, very good. Well, it's something that you probably will benefit from, so I hope you'll check it out, and appreciate Barry coming by to tell us all about it.
Absolutely.
It's always good to see you, Barry. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We're going to drink some coffee in just a second. In fact, during the break, I'm going to grab a cup because Ruthie showed up and she's got the coffee, and now I can wake up.
Way to go, Ruthie.
Yeah, we've been waiting on her. It is 6:57. Back in just a moment, we'll learn something excitingly new at the Salvation Army in Cleveland.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television. Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
How would you like to look and feel better? If so, then visit the Ford Center for Anti-Aging, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest. Dr. Ford has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding area since 1984. He is a licensed physician with the Board of Anti-Aging Medicine, offering affordable Botox injections. Botox is a medication that is used to treat dynamic wrinkles such as crow's feet, forehead lines, and frown lines. In addition to Botox therapy, rejuvenate and smooth wrinkled skin. The micro laser peel treats skin conditions associated with aging and active lifestyles. If you're looking for safe and affordable anti-aging treatment, call the Ford Center for Anti-Aging at 423-614-0535, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
Welcome back. It's 7 o'clock and 41 degrees on this brisk Monday morning. Thank you for joining us today on the Tennessee Valley this morning. Let's check your headline news. Flu season is upon us, and the Bradley County Health Department reminds you that the flu vaccine is available to everyone at the health department. Department Director Eloise Waters said the flu shots are paid for by TennCare. Uninsured and underinsured clients pay a fee, which is adjusted according to their income. The Bradley County Reagan Day Dinner, sponsored by the local Republican Party, is set for this Friday night, 6 p.m. at Cleveland High School. U.S. Senator Bob Corker will be the keynote speaker. The dinner is open to the public. Tickets available by calling 284-1802, 284-1802. Yours truly will be the MC for that event. I hope to see you there. Call and get your tickets. They're $35 a piece, I believe. Past director of the Cleveland Boys Club, Jim Tucker, is the newest member of the Tennessee Hall of Fame. Tucker was honored for his years of work with the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland. Tucker has mentored hundreds of youth and said in his years as director, nothing pleased him more than to see boys grow up and be successful in the community. Tucker was director from 1970 to 1992 and has made a dramatic impact on the community for more than 40 years. The Long-Term Recovery Organization has selected the first of 5 total home rebuild projects to replace homes destroyed by the April 27th storms. LTRO Director Jim Polier and Case Manager Lisa Mantooth say the first home rebuild will belong to the Tim Garrett family on Leadmine Valley Road. The house will be rebuilt from the ground up and represents the commitment by the LTRO and the community to restore the lives of those devastated by the storms back in April. That's your headlines. Let's check out your weather forecast. Looking good for the next 3 or 4 days. More sunshine than we've seen in a while, it looks like. Sunny through Wednesday. High today of about 72. Going to be just really pleasant. 77 and 78 on Tuesday and Wednesday. Overnight lows dipping down into the 40s. Just good sleeping weather. Just enough to make the heat come on.
Exactly.
My heat came on for the first time last night. I've been trying to hold off. You know, I just resist the cold weather, but
oh, I love cold weather.
It won, so I turned the heat on last night. But I set it low. I only set it on 70. I didn't want to get too hot.
Well, this is true. This is true.
It's 41 degrees right now. We're back, and we have a special guest, as I promised. Ruthie is here, and she's not on camera, but she's sitting over there, and she brought the coffee. And, you know, we were talking about me not having my coffee. Joel is here, Joel Rogers, and Joel is the Christian Education Program Director for the Salvation Army. And, you know, she brought me a cup, she brought me a spoon, and she brought me the package of coffee. I guess I'm going to have to eat it raw to get the caffeine that I need to get me through this show. But we didn't have any coffee. But that smells great, Joel. This is freshly ground. It
is. We ground it just before we came over today.
Really? Did you? So you got up early to go grind the coffee and bring it over here. Wow, that is amazing.
So at least you know it's fresh. Whenever you do get to drink it, it's fresh.
It is fresh, and I will make me some of this later so I can check out the coffee. See, I need the coffee bad. I can't talk this morning. Check out the coffee from the new exciting coffee shop at the Salvation Army. That's what Joel's here to talk about today.
The Inman Street Coffee House.
That's what it's called, Inman Street Coffee. Right on the back of the package is what it says, Inman Street Coffee House. 437 Inman Street, right adjacent to your office there.
Correct, in the old Herbs and More for people who are Cleveland locals.
Yeah. And if you're still looking for a landmark to locate it, it's close to Larry's Car Wash.
Right next door.
Right next door to Larry's Car Wash. And I've heard some buzz around town about this. In fact, I've heard some teenagers talking about it. Can't wait till that gets open. So tell us about the event. Is it open yet?
It actually is soft opening today.
Oh, okay.
So today through Thursday from 9 to 5, we're going to be soft open. And then on Friday is our grand opening. We'll open our usual hours from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
with a ribbon cutting at 10 a.m.
The focus of the coffee shop, are you attracting teenagers or just anyone in the community? What's the goal here,
Well,
Joel?
the focus is to attract absolutely anyone to the coffee shop. It is a great coffee shop with very reasonable prices, very competitive prices, and offering an absolute quality product. And we're proud to say that first and foremost. And then the secondary focus is that we would be able to be an example of Christ's love through that coffee house to the community, and that we would be able to house an internship and mentorship program with young people in our community through that facility.
Yeah. I've heard, apparently the buzz is out on the street, because I've heard some teenagers talking about, well, did you know the coffee shop's going to open next week? And so they're planning to show up, apparently.
Well, it has been a long time coming, and finally it's here. We're all excited about it.
Yeah, I know Zandra's on the board of directors for the Salvation Army, so active in that regard.
And the coffee's great. We've had several events that Joel has served us, and you can order your white chocolate mocha, and it's to die for. You can. They have. It's awesome down there. So.
Oh, so it's just like some of the big chains that offer all these things. So you guys have it all.
We have everything that you can get at any of the competitors in town and more. We have several options that they do not carry.
At a cheaper price.
At a much cheaper price, yes.
There you go. So you got to check that out. I'm intrigued by the name of the coffee across the front. It says 412. Coffee and Tea, that's the brand.
Yes, and that brand actually it's a nonprofit coffee maker that we have partnered with to provide our coffee for us, and they have a similar focus that we do with our coffee house, in that they want to see young people be able to be mentored and developed and loved. And so their name actually comes from 1 Timothy 4:12.
Okay.
And it says, "Don't let anyone think less of you because you're young, but be an example in the words you speak, in what your life preaches, in your love, your faith, and your purity."
Oh, that's a great title. A great title. Ruthie brought me a bag of, it says black gold decaf. You can't see it from there, but
well, that was wrong for you. You need some caffeine.
I'll drink this at night. It won't keep me awake. But you've got several different flavors. Here is a French vanilla, and then here is a Nicaraguan
Matagalpa.
Matagalpa. I'm glad you pronounced that for me. And that's from Nicaragua. And this one is Jamaican Me Crazy.
I'm sure that one has caffeine.
That one does. Okay. The Jamaican Me Crazy has a blend of several tropical flavors in it. It's a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of hazelnut, a little bit of coconut for the flavored coffee in that. It's very, very delicious.
That's the Jamaican Me Crazy.
That's the Jamaican Me Crazy.
That's your choice.
Oh,
right?
I would like that. Yeah. It's interesting to me. Of course, I'm a coffee drinker. But it's interesting to me that not all coffee is created equal.
No, it is not.
And it depends on the roaster and how they, I don't know how they process it or whatever. But there's some coffees at some of the big chains, I can't drink it. It's very acidic, and I understand some people like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people like it because some of those chains are very successful. But I can't drink it. It's just too acidic and it's too bitter. But how do they go about getting the flavors? Do you know? Did they give you a tour of their processing plant?
Bringing up what you said about other competitors having a very acidic coffee, that's something we hear really, really frequently. And that's something that we wanted to get a coffee product that was different than that. The product that we have is incredible for people who have that same palate, that think that some of the competitors have a really acidic, almost burnt. That really high acidity will make it taste burnt to you. And so the coffee that we offer, even the espresso we offer, that is the base of most of our mixed drinks, the espresso is is made with a reduced acidity coffee.
Oh, great.
So the process that they actually roast it in reduces the acidity of the coffee, so you get the powerful flavor without the acidity that can sometimes make you feel like that coffee is burnt or is not as good.
Yeah, I like a smooth coffee, but lots of body. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Does that mean lots of cream?
Well, I usually put lots of cream in it. But no, I mean, you can taste the coffee, but it's smooth. It goes down easy, and it doesn't leave a burnt aftertaste in your mouth. I can't stand that. And I don't know how they go about getting it, but obviously some people are more successful than others. But some roasters don't go for that flavor. They go for the more acidic, burnt taste. But I'm anxious to try this. And you'll be open today?
Today from 9
opening?
to 5.
9 to 5. So just about time for me to run by there and finally get that cup of coffee I've been craving all morning.
Right before you have to go to your other job, your real job.
Well, the Salvation Army is doing a great job, Joel, and this is just another addition to their outreach into the community, and I'm expecting you guys are going to have great success with this. Talk about where you are now with regard to the storms back in April. You guys were front and center on the recovery effort.
We're still right in there. We have a disaster distribution center that is still operating every day of the week. It's operating more limited hours just to accommodate the change in weather and to accommodate the shift in needs, but we are still serving between 30 and 50 families a week in our volunteer distribution center.
Are you really? And is that still out on Barney Lane?
It is, 2960 Barney's Lane.
Okay, and I did notice that I was driving by 17th the other day, and I think you're taking a new direction with the thrift store that you had.
Yes, yes. The 17th Street thrift store has been closed temporarily to relocate to a larger space. So
you were crowded.
We were very crowded there. We were working at about 4,000 square feet, and our headquarters said you really need to be working in 10,000 square feet or more. So we are in that process of relocating, and we're in negotiations for a few spaces, just trying to kind of feel things out.
I'm sure something will turn up. I'm curious, Sandra, to get your impression. You're serving on the board now. Are you a fairly new member for Red Cross?
I've been on about a year.
About a year, of course, Salvation Army. What's your impression of the Salvation Army and what they're doing in this community?
Well, I have to admit, when I used to think of the Salvation Army, I think like most of us, we think of ringing the bells.
Yeah, the bell ringers.
I mean, that was the biggest way, I guess, in the past that they were visible to us. And that's exactly what I always thought was just that's all that they did. And then they really, of course, getting on the board and seeing all the other activities and the ways that they jumped in and did things, but I think they became more visible, and our community got to see hands-on just what the Salvation Army was about in our disasters in April. And that is really the heart of what the Salvation Army does. I know their logo is doing the most good, and that's really what they do. And I mean, I'm proud to be a part of that. I try to choose, you know, we all are involved in our community, but, you know, there's things that we're passionate about and we're not passionate about. But when you're passionate about something, you can really give 200%. And when I see Joel and Ruthie and I see Jim and Cheryl, his wife, and Melissa, all of those down there and all that they do for the community, it's amazing. And I think being behind the scenes now, it just, I don't know, I had no idea that they did so much, and they continue to do so much. It's just a huge, awesome organization to be a part of. So I'm very proud of what they do. Proud to say that I am a part of what they do. So
Bradley County is very fortunate to have an organization like that here, and I can't say enough about the staff. Ruthie's put together an outstanding staff.
Oh, they do. And like when we had the flood just a few weeks ago, you know, the Salvation Army flooded, and I had never met Matt Ryerson. I have to say this because I had never met him, but we had been emailing and talking about hopefully one day meeting. He was one of the first ones that showed up. You know, Matt's from the United Way. And it's just the way this community just jumps in and does whatever is needed. And we were working side by side before I finally said, "Oh my gosh, you're mad." He said, "You're Sandra." It was pretty funny at the time, but it was just amazing. You know, I think you got on and you tweeted that it had, that, you know, the Salvation Army had flooded, the Corps office had flooded. So, I mean, the people that showed up, it was just, this community is amazing.
Yeah, it really
it's amazing.
is. Well, I'm going to have to start learning how to tweet. See, I didn't get that message, and I'm sorry.
Well, it was on Facebook too. So.
I don't know where I was that day, but I didn't know about it till just now.
Right.
I didn't know
Did
that
you know?
No,
Oh,
I didn't know the
yeah.
office had flooded. I really didn't. That's amazing. But you recovered okay?
Yes, if it wasn't for the gifted sandbagging efforts of people like Matt Ryerson and the other 15 or 20 volunteers that just showed up and helped us sandbag those back doors. We only got flooded in our storage room, but the water level got above the entire back half of our building.
Oh my.
So the sandbags were really the only thing
Really
that prevented half of our building from being in about 6 or 7 inches of water.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, you guys, I'm sure you're going to be very successful in this endeavor, and I know there's some excitement in the community about it. And I'm excited because I'm going to go by and get me some coffee, and it's just about 2 blocks from my office, so I can swing by there.
Just right around
It's
the
right
corner.
downtown. It's a perfect location.
Yeah, a perfect location.
Our grand opening is this Friday, so ribbon cutting at 10 a.m. The Mix 104 is going to be broadcasting live in a remote broadcast that morning. Ribbon cutting at 10 a.m. and then we have a grand opening concert at 8 p.m. that night with 2 Lee bands, the Mailboxes and Russell Clinton.
Okay.
Mailboxes, that sounds pretty good.
It's going to be fun. And what are the hours for the store, the operation hours?
For the coffee house?
Yeah,
the coffee house, when it opens fully on Friday, the hours will be from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and from noon to 11 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay, so 6 a.m., that's early enough for me to get by there and get some coffee. Talk about your volunteers briefly. Do you need volunteers?
We are always in need of volunteers. What we've kind of come across at this phase is that we're in need of volunteers who are willing to commit to a little bit longer term, maybe who have special skills in the rebuild effort or you know, more specific things than I can show up and help for 5 minutes. You know, we always appreciate that, and we have several thousand volunteers that did that during the disaster. But just the phase of the rebuild where we're at, we need people now who have, you know, who can say, I'm a contractor or I do construction or those kinds of things, to be able to step in and help us out with some of those things.
They're out there. They really are. They're all over the community, and they're very involved. So looking forward to a successful grand opening event with this, and I'm looking forward to a fresh cup of coffee when I go by there this morning. 412 Coffee and Tea. That's the latest endeavor from the Salvation Army in Bradley County. And I'm going to enjoy this black gold decaf. Go by and get you some Jamaican Me Crazy. That will be fun as well. And it's soft opening today. And if you like me, you got to have that morning cup of coffee. It's right on your way if you work downtown, right on Inman Street. The address is 437 Inman Street, right next to Larry's Car Wash there in the Salvation Army offices. Thanks a lot, Joel.
Thank you so much.
Always good to see you, and give our best to Ruthie and the rest of the staff.
Will do, thank you.
We have to take a break. Going to talk about United Way when we come back. That is a great little coffee cup.
I'm Kathy Guy with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Call us today for all your personal insurance needs. With 28 years in the insurance business, I have the solutions and pricing you are looking for. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television. Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
How would you like to look and feel better? If so, then visit the Ford Center for Anti-Aging, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest. Dr. Ford has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding area since 1984. He is a licensed physician with the Board of Anti-Aging Medicine, offering affordable Botox injections. Botox is a medication that is used to treat dynamic wrinkles such as crow's feet, forehead lines, and frown lines. In addition to Botox therapy, rejuvenate and smooth wrinkled skin. The micro laser peel treats skin conditions associated with aging and active lifestyles. If you're looking for safe and affordable anti-aging treatment, call the Ford Center for Anti-Aging at 423-614-0535, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest.
Well, special thanks to Joel Rogers for bringing me this black gold decaf coffee from 412, Salvation Army's new coffee shop there on Inman Street. You going to go by, Alan?
Definitely.
Yeah, we got to go by and get a cup. Alan Mincey's here, and he's from United Way. You see him from time to time on the show, and we haven't had an update on United Way in quite a while.
First thing, Dan, is Joel and Ruthie were talking about this coffee named Velvet Hammer.
Velvet Hammer.
That's what we've got to have.
Velvet Hammer. That's pretty descriptive, isn't it?
It is, but I think they messed up the name of the coffee because 412 is actually the time I have my first cup of coffee. So I think that's what it's named for.
412.
412 a.m.
Well, I don't get up quite that early. But I'm going to go by this morning, and they're going to do a soft open at 9. And if you're interested in checking them out, you can go by at 9 too. I got to go by and get my coffee. I haven't had any coffee. That's very rare for me not to have a coffee by this time of day. So I've got to go by and get some coffee, and I'm anxious to try this this black gold here from 412. Alan's here, as I said, and he's going to talk about United Way. Always something going on. During the break, we were talking, well, in fact, I think Sandra on the air was talking about Matt Ryerson, a colleague of yours.
Sure.
I'm sorry we had to talk about Matt so much, but
he gets very little publicity.
Yeah, too bad.
Like he's always in the paper, but we think that's going to change a little bit because Matt just moved over from being president of the Kiwanis Club to outgoing president.
Oh, okay.
So for all of Matt's fans, they won't see his picture in the paper quite as much.
Not quite as often.
But if they will email me, I will try to send them a
photo
of Matt just to keep them, to wean them off of it.
Give them their fix a little bit.
I love it.
Well, Matt's, of course, a good friend. We have fun at their expense sometimes. Our good friends like Matt and Steve Hartline, we give them a hard time. And they do the same to us.
They do. Oh, of course. Steve's never done that to us.
No, not much.
Never.
Not unless he got a chance.
Right.
But let's find out what's going on at United Way.
Well, we are coming up on our second report luncheon. We have report luncheons all throughout the campaign to let folks know where we are as far as our pledges to the campaign. And our next report luncheon is Wednesday at the Mountain View Inn. And I want to mention the report luncheon not just because it will be when we get to report where we are pledge-wise, but Cassie Yost, and I don't know if you know Cassie or not.
No.
But Cassie is a volunteer with the American Red Cross,
okay.
Hiwassee chapter. And like the Salvation Army, the Red Cross was so involved in, the relief efforts after April 27th storms. And Cassie had just become a volunteer like a couple of weeks before that, so she was put straight into it. And from what I hear, she is such a special person to begin with, but a great volunteer. And she learned so much during this time that she went up into New York and Connecticut when they had their major flooding up there and volunteered up there. So she's going to come Wednesday and tell us, our folks that come to the report luncheon, a little bit about what it's like to be a volunteer and what it was like just, starting with the tornadoes and then hitting the ground running. So we hope we get a lot of folks who will come and listen to Cassie.
You know, it seems from the reports that I've seen, it seems like the pledge drive is just doing great, even in this down economy, Alan.
This is such a great community. Zandra will back me up on that, because I know she's been involved in so many charitable efforts in our community. When we're down, we're not down. We have so many folks who know that there are others in our community that are less fortunate, and they jump right in no matter what. We saw it with the storms. Yeah. We see it with the continual volunteers that Joel was talking about that they still have. Lee University,
oh yeah,
what a great asset to our community.
Yeah.
The kids over there, we can call them kids, can't we?
I think so.
We're old enough for that.
They're kids to me.
But how they came out and supported all the efforts in our community that were going on. And I think it's just because we're just a bunch of special people.
That's who we are. I mean, that's who this community is. It's a volunteering, caring, loving community.
It is.
And it's just its nature. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
And we've seen it every year through our United Way campaigns. We raise money to help folks through our different programs and agencies. And they just come forward and make pledges every year to help these organizations continue to provide the services they do. But then they come back and they'll be involved in the Relay for Life. They'll come back and they'll be involved in the, you were talking about the bell ringers. Even then, Operation Christmas Child.
Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Exactly.
Huge, hundreds of people there on Saturday morning.
And it seems like we have a walk almost every other week.
In the fall we do, yeah.
But they're always packed.
They are.
It's amazing.
Yeah, the week before it was for New Hope crisis, pregnancy crisis.
Exactly.
And again, hundreds and hundreds of people showed up, and Steve Hartline was there with a live remote, and just.
And that didn't hurt the attendance at all.
Not a bit, not a bit.
We got to zap Steve when we can, you know.
Yeah, Steve came, and they still turned out.
They still turned out.
That's right.
The goal for United Way this year is what?
Our goal is $2.3 million this year.
Now, is that up from last year?
Actually, it is right around where we were last year. I think it is up as far as the goal goes. I think we raised a little bit more than that. But we set a goal that will be reachable, but will also serve all of our agencies and programs. So 2.3 million, we last reported about 1.1, and that was at our second report luncheon. So we'll see where we're at Wednesday. Just
probably more than halfway already.
Oh yes.
When is the deadline?
This will be our second report luncheon. Our third will be October 26th. And you need to come to this one.
Okay.
Last year when we had our third report luncheon near Halloween, we had kids from the Signal Center, from the Bone Birth Defect Center. They came and dressed up in their Halloween costumes and went around the tables and giving out candy. Mayor Rowland and Zandra, I'm sorry, Sandra, and Sandra, who were our campaign co-chairs. We're giving out candy, and all the folks there. We had little William Joel, who I love William. He's in a wheelchair, but he was dressed up like Thomas the Train. And he had the train all around his wheelchair.
How cute.
And we had sock puppets and all sorts. So we're going to try to do that again this year.
Yeah. Now where will that be?
That's going to be at the Mountain View Inn also.
Mountain View Inn also.
And our fourth report luncheon is November 16th. So you need to come because it's my birthday, and the last time we did this on my birthday, they zinged me.
I can't imagine they would do that to you.
Oh, I had a birthday cake like a coffin, and there's no telling what they may do to me. So it's worth the price of admission, which is free.
Yeah.
But one thing, Dan, that I do want to mention coming up this week, you know that we do this Restaurant Tuesday for United Way. And that's tomorrow, and I want to tell everybody, if you get the chance for lunch or dinner, go by Shane's Rib Shack. Everybody loves Shane's.
Yeah, I love Shane's. I do.
And they will donate 5% of their sales to United Way. So this is the third of our Restaurant Tuesdays this year. We did Sifted Bakery and The Catch Bar and Grill for the first one. And then we did CC's Pizza for the second, and this will be the third. And we'll continue to have a restaurant each week. Still waiting for a Olive Garden to open.
Oh yeah,
that'd be nice.
That would be nice.
And the one that Buffalo Wild Wings. I've heard several people say that's where they're going to be hanging out as soon as it opens up. When they're not hanging out at the Inman Street Coffee House.
That's right.
Right. Tell us how the Restaurant Tuesday thing works.
We have these restaurants in town who agreed to be a part of our Restaurant Tuesday. We approach them and they decide to give a percentage of their sales back to United Way. It's not something you have to go in and say, I'm here for United Way, or take a coupon in or anything. They just want to give back to United Way. It helps them with their visibility. Like some of them, they don't need the visibility. But I think it's their way of giving back to the community too. So
on that day, on that Tuesday, you just go eat there, and they'll give 5% of the proceeds.
Yeah, take your friends,
to United Way.
Your family. You know, find a bus full of
spend a lot of money.
You know, older folks that are taking these Knoxville tours. You know, just take them all over there, and they will donate back to us, and we really appreciate that.
And tomorrow it's Shane's Rib Shack.
Shane's Rib Shack.
Out there close to Target.
Get the Brunswick stew. It's the best.
Oh yes, I love Shane's. We're out of time, unfortunately, Alan. I appreciate you coming by and give us an update, and we'll have you again maybe at the next report luncheon. We'll get a report after that and get you back on the air.
Sounds great.
It's always good to see Alan Mincey with United Way. It's good to see you. It's always good to see you, Zandra. Always good to have you on the air.
Dan. I had a great time get my week started off good.
As soon as I get my coffee, it's going to get better, I promise you. Have a good Monday. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Jamaica.